Hey guys, welcome. We have an awesome, did you see, we were pumping each other up. I missed you guys. We haven't seen you in forever. Welcome. We got a great show planned for you tonight. We got our little girl, June Rebecca.
I'm not little.
That's
she's
right.
taller than me.
That's right. We got Chef Skip with us hanging.
What's up, guys?
A really cool evening planned for you. We've got a bunch of cool food. I'm excited because I'm hungry and I'm a little chubby, so those things mean I'm always hungry and looking for some good food and good wine. We're going to walk you through a quick video while everybody's joining. Pour a little Blanc de Bois in your glass while we get cranking, but we're going to show a little video. Chef was out picking vegetables today, along with our gardening team, and we're gonna walk everybody through the garden. So, but welcome. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that!
Look at Skip out there.
Skip, you really
there
pick
we go.
vegetables.
Yeah, so we had some great zucchini in the garden the other day, and we got some for tonight as well. We got our wonderful sun gold tomatoes that you see right here up front. It's been a bumper crop year for us, so they just keep on producing. Another thing that I'm really excited for is that our okra is really starting to take off right now. Cannot wait to get some of that into some pickling jars.
Oh, that's not going to be in our recipe tonight, though.
No, that's not going to be in the recipe. That's just something that it's coming in. It's all coming in right now.
I'm gonna take those okra home and eat them.
I'm gonna hide the okra from you, Chris. All right. Also, our arugula right now. That arugula, I might throw some in there because man, it is just so good right now.
That's Chris and I's favorite green.
So it adds just a little bit of peppery spice to this risotto, which is, I think, just gonna take it over the top.
So sweet.
So
I'm excited.
You guys, as you join us, let us know in the comments where you're joining us from. We're so happy you're here, and we definitely have some giveaways later, and you need to be present and commenting to be in the drawing.
Quick news flash, we are giving away to one lucky winner at the end, so you're gonna have to be present. We are going to be giving away 2 tickets to the Harvest Dinner, which I know is sold out, but we have 2 extra tickets for one lucky winner. So,
and there's also a second giveaway for a vine to bottle tasting and tour for 4 people. We'll give you more information on that, but
Martha,
2
what's
opportunities
going
to
on?
win.
Mona, what's going on? Katie, I heard you were, actually, no, I heard your brother-in-law was down in Lubbock seeing Andy the other day. So,
Cool.
Dawn, what's up? Good to see you. Steve Martin. Tony, what's going on? Long time no see.
Mark's here. Mark, we really haven't seen you in days.
Oh, Mark Mary.
Chris and I just got back. We just got back from an amazing Eastern European wine cruise that we went on with several wine club members. Mark and Mary were with us. We had a blast. We just got back Monday night. And we're doing more. We're going to do another one. Like, we loved it so much. We got to know the members who came on the trip with us so well. So stay tuned. We haven't planned it yet. But
this time I'm going to go.
Yeah, June and Tess want to come with us. So we'll see.
Going.
Okay.
I am going.
We had an amazing time.
Oh, here's some pictures. Cool.
We went all over Eastern Europe with our wine club members. We floated down the Danube, and it was, Eastern Europe's phenomenal.
Places I never would have gone otherwise. It was
I can't
awesome.
say enough amazing things about our wine club members too.
Look at this silly picture of me.
We met a lot of new wine club members too from all over the country. We were able to share William Chris wines with the world, which was pretty phenomenal. I mean, there was people from 6 different countries, which was super exciting. And to be able to share Texas wine was like so stinking awesome. I mean, there was people from Colombia, Great Britain that were like, I never knew this was here. All of them are planning trips to come back to Texas to come taste our wine, which is pretty awesome. That picture right there is actually in front of like a castle where they drug a big fortress. They drug a big chain across the river to like stop people from crossing it, which is pretty phenomenal.
We learned so much about the history, the land, everything.
I dropped my sunglasses. Actually,
this is the funniest thing that happened on the whole trip.
Yeah. So we're with this tour guide who doesn't speak very good English, and we're way up in this fortress, and they had this, that was like 400 AD. Yeah, I think it was 400
I can't
AD.
remember. It was old.
And there was this like toilet, this 400, so that would be like 1600, 1700 years old.
Okay.
I'm not that good at math.
I think the toilet just went straight into the river.
Yeah, it was just a hole.
Just a hole.
That went down into this like
It doesn't
chamber.
go that far anymore.
Yeah.
Because
Anyways, he was telling us about it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I had my glasses like this, and I look over like this, and what happens? My glasses fall down the shitter, or this was the medieval toilet. And so now I probably have medieval pink eye, I don't know. But the worst is, I look down there and I'm like, well, they're gone. And then I'm like, wait, I can kind of see them. And it's not like these sunglasses are that amazing, but I was like, I'm way out in the middle of nowhere.
you needed your sunglasses. Chris is a baby with the
And
sun. He needs his sunglasses.
My wife, as amazing as she is, as soon as I decided that I was going to go for it, because I had my phone flashlight.
Any of you that follow me on Instagram or Facebook know I don't take many pictures. I don't post many pictures. But I luckily had my phone ready for this moment.
Yeah, and she videoed it like a real champ, like amazing.
Y'all
Like,
have to show me that.
Yeah.
Y'all have
I
not.
should
I missed
do.
that one.
real.
I missed that
text
one.
it to you? I'll text
don't
it to you.
think so.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
Well,
Anyway.
regardless, it was an amazing trip. We had so much
Yes.
fun.
You all should come with us next time. It
Yeah,
was awesome.
we'll do all of our wine club members and everybody will get a chance to check out. We may go to the Rhone River next year, or maybe go to Portugal. We even talked about Colombia. So,
Yeah.
I
We'll
have
see.
one question though.
Okay.
Which country had the best wine?
ooh, that's
Well,
a tough one.
Hard to say. Of the wine tastings that we did,
I would say
Hungary.
Hungary for sure. Yeah.
But I'm sure all the countries have fabulous wine. But of the wine tastings that we went to,
Yeah.
Hungary was it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I see Jennifer Winecki. So good to see you, and I'm sad that we missed you.
You
on
can't
that
miss
trip,
your,
too.
yeah, you cannot miss your son's wedding. That comes first.
Brian White Equals, so good to see you too, by the way. Also, guys, if we have questions, we've got Graham and Kelsey here. If you guys have questions during this tasting, we're about to jump in. Please feel free to ask anything, and we'll do our best to answer it. Lorinda, awesome, from Abilene. I'm from San Angelo. Awesome. So let's jump in it, shall we,
Okay.
guys? Go ahead. Did you have
Well, I
something?
was just thinking, Skip has a whole cooking demonstration, and everyone that has this wine in front
Oh,
of
you all
them
have the
has the recipe. They're probably waiting and starving like we are to know how to cook it. While he cooks it, we poured the first wine, the Blanc du Bois, and we'll talk about it more when he's done cooking, and then we can enjoy the food and wine together.
Skip, do you need
Awesome,
a minute to
sounds
walk
great.
us through this, or
Yeah.
do we?
Yeah, he's got some
I can
clothes.
walk everybody through. Won't take but a second. We'll just start to
We can
going
try and
through.
do
Oh,
this.
absolutely. And
Okay.
I'm going to need that bottle of wine because that's a very important part of this recipe.
Okay.
So, first off, we're going to make sure that our stove is hot. We got our pan on. We're getting it warmed up. First thing we do is we take just a little bit of our olive oil.
Where's that olive oil from, Skip?
So this is our 1836 olive oil. It's from here in Texas.
You gonna Vanna it?
No, I'm gonna taste it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to taste it. One of the things you do want to make sure when you put this oil in your pan
I do.
is that you have enough in there for your rice and your onions and everything.
What do you mean by enough? So you coated the bottom of the pan?
I'm going to coat the bottom of the pan completely. Typically, I'm just using a little bit of oil to let things, not stick. But in this case, I'm going to use a little bit extra because I want to make sure that all the oil is hot whenever we add our rice.
Liberal.
There you go. I like it. So first thing, we're going to toss our onions or shallots in there. All right. I always have to use a wooden spoon.
Why?
I just
That's the
feel
spoon
like
that your mom beat your ass with when you were a kid.
this is my grandmother, but yes, okay. No, there's something about a wooden spoon when making risotto. It's a lot more homey,
Okay.
and it's nice on your pans. It doesn't scratch anything up, so that's a big thing for me too. So after we wait a few minutes and we let these onions or your shallot go clear, you're going to take your risotto, which is a short grain arborio rice, and we're going to go ahead and add that in. All right. After you add that in, just start taking it, moving it around. Make sure you coat all that rice with that oil.
Chef, has anybody ever told you you look kind of like Rachel Ray?
Oh my gosh. I thought about Rachel Ray when you're talking about the
It was
olive
Emerald
oil.
Lagasse, but maybe it's just the belly. Maybe it's just the belly. I don't know. Haven't figured that one out yet.
Emerald in hot water or something. You did something, but I think I like canceled. It was like, anyways, we're not gonna go there.
Yeah. Now I feel bad.
Right.
Not
We
really,
don't want to talk
but-
about that. Let's talk about this risotto.
Yeah.
So our risotto, we're gonna go ahead and just flip that around in your pan. Make sure you start to smell it. You want to
Oh,
get
I
that
can smell it from
toasty.
here.
And you want
Right.
to keep it moving the whole time, right?
Yeah,
It's not the
you just
thing with
kinda keep it
risotto, You
move-
can't leave it.
Once you start adding your water in, absolutely, or your stock, you want to make sure that it is constantly moving.
Well, you're
Okay.
moving,
So-
I'm drinking.
I know I'm about to need some myself. So we're
we
gonna take
got?
our Blanc de Bois and go ahead and just throw a little bit in there, just enough to not quite cover the rice, but you want to go ahead and get it deglaze, that pan deglaze, so everything off the bottom of the pan.
Okay.
All right. We like to
I can't
say,
see this. It's not like a soup in there. It's
Right.
very,
Can you see that, guys?
it's there. You can see the liquid separate, but it's not soupy. It's, yeah.
yep. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually let this wine dry up. We go to what's called au sec. So it's not quite gone, but it is just about there. And then the most important part, our stock.
Are you adding stock that's already warm? Is that important?
So
That
it's very important that your stock is simmering.
Okay.
We don't need a rolling boil, but we want to make
It's
sure.
not all the time.
What does that even mean?
There are children present.
No, she left. She left.
Right now, I am on about medium-high heat. It really just depends on your stove. So we use propane here. I got to turn this down way low. Our propane burns really hot.
Right.
If you're using natural gas or electric, you might have to have it up a little bit higher. Right now, this is actually an induction burner, so I have it up a little higher than I normally would. I just got to get that heat transferred into my cast iron.
Sure.
I love using cast iron for risotto, especially like an enameled pot. That's probably my favorite. Again, the heat stays in that pot the whole time.
It already smells good, and I know
So-
you're like not even close to finished.
No,
product.
not even close, but
That's awesome.
Smells so good.
by the magic of
Well,
TV.
he's gonna do some magic at TV. So,
Voila. We actually have our risotto that I pre-cooked. So that's probably my favorite thing about risotto is that 2 days in advance, you can make your base rice.
Wait, what? Really? Because
Yeah.
I always thought the
Seriously.
risotto has to be like done right there, otherwise
too.
it will like get
No.
mushy.
So what you're looking for is, I do normally what we call 2 covers. So I'm gonna put my stock in it, cover the rice once, I'm gonna let it reduce, then I'm gonna do it again, I'm gonna let it reduce. I'm looking for a nice creaminess. I wanna still be able to see every single grain of rice in there.
so how long
But-
do you think that
So
took
that's
you?
like not mushy, right? So
Taste it. Taste it.
Okay.
don't have to tempt me with the
I mean-
wow, you really got a big bite there, babe. It's not finished.
So you feel how it's just a little bit crunchy in the center, all right? That's al dente. So to the tooth. That's what we're looking for
Yeah.
when we're making this risotto.
So how long did that take you? Because as a busy parent, working parent,
If you're-
I need to know time.
If
How long
you're
does that take you?
efficient, this whole dish, beginning to end, 45 minutes tops,
Even with the chopping?
even with the chopping.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, I
Very
mean,
good.
like with everything else, you can work ahead. So you can get your vegetables chopped, everything ready, have it to the side, come
Yeah.
home, throw it together, bada bing, bada boom.
We need to bring
We're
these
done.
little dishes home.
You are not
Oh,
taking my new olive dishes. I will buy you some. You're not taking any.
Hey, speaking of which, this olive oil, super cool. This is all from 1836. Where's this?
Asterton, Texas.
Thank you. Ashton, Texas. Miss Carrie Thornhill is awesome. She got introduced to us by a good friend, Louis Dixon. If you've never been to his winery, Le Cruz de Camal is awesome. They do such a great job out there. But he called me and he said, hey, you got to meet this girl, Terry. She's amazing. Chef met her, and we've been carrying our olive oil ever since. You can get it at the market, which if you haven't been into the market here at William, Chris, and High.
Come check it out. It's totally, the farmhouse has been revamped. It's amazing.
Yeah, you can come get lunch. You can come get sandwiches. You get salads.
Yep, fresh sandwiches and salads daily.
Yeah, you don't even have to wait. You don't have to order them ahead of time. You just walk in and grab them. And you can get 1836 olive oil, which is pretty delicious. Let's jump into this wine, guys, or do we have?
Oh, hold on. I want to ask a
all right.
question.
So I'm gonna finish this off because I want to taste this all. I
I
want the opportunity to taste all of this together.
So you put in your par cooked risotto,
Right.
added some more broth.
Right,
Okay.
par cooked risotto, the hot broth,
Yep.
and I've already roasted off all of our zucchini here, and then we have our sun gold tomatoes.
Don't those look
Have
so
you
good?
tasted the sun gold tomatoes? So these are cherry tomatoes that we
No.
actually have out in the garden right now.
Oh my
If
God.
you go out there and pick them, I won't tell anybody. I got a ton of them.
And you kind of charred
But-
those too.
So what I did was I just blistered them.
Blistered,
So
okay.
scalding hot pan,
So good.
just a little bit of the olive oil, throw them in there, toss them around nice and quick. But you see how it's still full tomatoes. You don't
Yeah.
want to really break them up.
Yeah.
But
we were just in Santorini a couple of weeks ago, and
We did that before the wine cruise.
they had amazing. They called them Santorini tomatoes, and they blistered them like that.
So good.
Those seriously, like pick those.
they're better.
Yeah, those are amazing.
A different
Wow.
kind of tomato, but
Yeah,
that's the fresh ones.
gotcha. Oh,
I'm
That's
good. I'm good. I don't know. Fresh tomatoes,
oh,
I'm
they're
weird
like-
about them.
They're just that pop,
They're so sweet.
right?
And these are all from the highest day vineyard,
All from the highest day vineyard.
or garden rather.
Yeah,
The vineyard garden.
The vineyard
It
garden.
used to be a vineyard, now it's a garden.
You know,
Right.
That
I'm gonna tell
part.
you what's really cool. It's we used to actually have a garden where we're standing, a very small one, and it has been a dream of mine to always have a garden on the property. And Josh is awesome. Our gardening team is awesome. They've been really doing a great job planting this garden, tending this garden. If you haven't noticed, it's a bit hot out there, but it's really, really cool. Not all of our
Just a bit.
produce comes 100% that we use at the winery, because we do use a lot of produce, but so
getting there.
much more. And we're going to have more of this produce available in like jarred and canned.
You know, hopefully this fall, what I'm looking to do is be able to put fresh produce into the market.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So we're already planning our fall garden. We're actually planning the spring garden already too.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of stuff that's going to be starting up really soon.
Carson asked what kind of tomatoes. Say it again. What kind are they?
Sun gold.
Sun gold. Okay.
Yep, sun gold tomatoes.
Man, that looks so
All right, so a little pecorino, maybe a lot, who knows? And then
Personal preference.
Butter.
Lots of butter.
butter,
So what is that?
butter.
Like 5
Half a stick.
tablespoons.
Half a stick of butter.
Okay, so-
Yeah.
butter
I mean-
is your friend.
Yes, butter
My
is your
friend.
friend. The one thing you never do is cream, though.
Hey,
Don't.
I wrote
don't
this
cream.
morning.
This is a
Give me
good
the
question.
butter.
Don is asking, we don't have to pre-order lunch anymore. You can, the hot stuff you pre-order, the cold is grab and go.
Right. So you can come and get the grab and go, but also what we've done now is as you're making your reservation, if you want one of those picnic packs, you can just add that picnic pack to your reservation
Oh, online.
online. Yeah.
Awesome.
And you can do it, I think it's like 1 hour in advance. So you give us an hour notice. You want
You can get a
picnic
hot
packs? Boom. There you go.
So when I text you and ask you for a sandwich, and you like have somebody bring it up to me when I'm like on the middle of a conference call, and I feel so special that you're able to do that. It's just that's
You're
what
not-
you do for everybody.
You're not special.
God, dog.
We were making them fresh for you, but now we make them fresh for everybody.
Oh, well, they are.
Everybody.
That brie sandwich you have that you've been roasting.
Oh, the turkey and brie. Ooh,
Oh, it's so good.
I love that one. That's one of my favorites.
Okay,
All
I
right,
bet everyone's
so
ready to
Yeah.
hear
are you
about
ready
this
to
wine,
eat?
but I'm ready.
You want a little?
Did you use all this stuff? What else did you
So what I did, I had fresh oregano out of the garden.
You did toss in some of that.
Toss in a little bit of that to the risotto, and then I have basil that I'm going to put on top.
Okay.
Oh,
We got a little
so
bit of-
basil's to garnish. But
Basil is to garnish at the end, and then we got a little shaved pecorino here as well.
Okay, let's talk about the wine while he makes
Yeah,
the plates.
let's talk about the wine while I make plates.
So I'm gonna have to dip into that a little bit more. So this Blanc de Bois, almost not entirely from Brenham. There's a little touch of this in from Sealy. So this has got 3 different vineyards in it. We've got John Dale, Paul Darst, and Dave Fleming. All 3 really, really great Blanc de Bois growers.
Take one down.
All of
pass it
that
around.
is in, by the way. Ooh, thank you. We have already harvested the 22 harvest of Blanc de Bois, and it is absolutely phenomenal. We had an amazing vintage.
Well, you can see Mr. John Dale right there.
So that's John Dale in our picture that you can see right there. That guy is 88. He's a retired NASA engineer. He farms half the time barefooted. He has the most amazing lawn.
You can with his lawn. I tell you what,
Yeah.
never has there been such a nice lawn.
You know, it's crazy. Junie B has been going to that vineyard off and on with me since she was 2 years
Yeah.
old. I picked her up from daycare in a reefer truck. And
That's refrigerated. Jack.
yeah, and then we drove up there. I stayed with John and his wife, who's amazing, Mrs. Dale. And she had little Raggedy Ann dolls for Junie. And then while they were harvesting, I went and took June to the Bluebell ice cream factory, which is why she loves coming back. That next picture is Paul Darst. He's on the other side of Brenham. Really great guy as well. So some really cool places out in Brenham. If you haven't ever been to the little town of Brenham, it's definitely worth your time. There's a couple of great cafes. There's the most amazing food truck I've ever been to. Liz, right next to a really cool bar, and it's escaping me the name of the bar right now, but I'll think of it. I'll put it up there.
Airport cafe out there.
Oh, the airport.
That's my favorite.
That's the $100 hamburger. Right?
That's the $100 hamburger,
Is it
but
really
that's my
$100?
favorite.
No, but they call it the $100 hamburger because you fly in and go to the
But you can go in there and chill and then watch all these vintage planes and like really cool stuff.
cruise in.
Yeah.
So this Blanc de
Okay.
Bois, getting back to this, Blanc de Bois is one of my favorite varieties that we do. It makes up a big part of our Mary
wine.
Ruth. But I love it because of its versatility. The acidity is amazing. We pick this, what some people would consider underripe, but that's not for Vitis vinifera. But this is a hybrid grape. And so we pick this at about 19 or 20 bricks. So not incredibly sweet, but we really want to retain acidity. We have made sparkling wine out of this several times, and we're probably going to do it again next vintage. Because sparkling wine is something I want to grow our program in. All stainless steel. Tony did a knockout job with this. Guys, we only made 69 cases of this. Like, it was a very challenging vintage. Most of it went to Mary Ruth. We didn't get a huge vintage. We had a little bit of frost up there last vintage. And we also had a little bit of rain, so we couldn't use all the fruit. But it ended up turning out, I mean, this wine is phenomenal. I love this. I'm going to try it with this risotto.
No.
How is it, by the way?
I don't know. I've been waiting for you to try it with me. I didn't want to
Well,
jump
we're not going to
ahead.
both have our mouth full at the same time.
Well,
Go ahead,
right.
Skip.
I got a friend that's texting me now. Are we supposed to drink every time you do? Yes, it's a drinking game. Every time we drink, you drink.
I think so.
And it's a no dump Thursday.
I like that one.
Yeah. Kelsey put these out here for us, but
Kelsey, this is what I do with this spit bucket. I was going to throw it over my shoulder. Yeah, come on.
this risotto is so good.
I don't know.
Oh my
I haven't
gosh.
tasted it yet.
So what we want to do is taste this with every single
We're gonna yes.
Everything.
So we can't eat our whole plate right away.
that basil with this. So this is kind of like reminds me of those lemon drop candies that you had when you were a kid.
What does?
Yeah.
You know, they have like kind of the white sugar.
Lemon
on it.
heads.
Yeah, lemon heads. There you go.
Oh.
Combination of this wine
Yeah,
and
the basil and the zucchini on the risotto. Absolutely phenomenal. Hey, Chef, can we add protein to this?
We can.
I hope you guys are eating this right now at home because
so
this is
am I
fantastic.
right to say that this creamy risotto kind of cuts the acidity on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, well, the salt really does a
Or
great
is that
job.
what's doing it?
Yeah, the salt
Okay.
does a better job. And what's crazy here, Chef, do we have any salt over there?
Yeah.
So here's a cool experiment that you can do. take a little salt and put it on your next bite and make it just a touch saltier.
Okay.
So just a little,
Thank
just
you.
a little pinch.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
So taste that. Make it a little touch saltier.
Let's see.
And drink your wine. Drink your wine with the salt.
Okay. Oh yeah, totally changed again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So see how that saltiness is cut with the
So
acidity.
good.
So that's something really important that you guys at home, when you're looking at making the ultimate food and wine pairing, just remember salt and acid go together. So if you have something that's really acidic, you want to use a little bit more salt, or that's why like really acidic wines go great with oysters, because oysters are naturally a little bit salty. So it's not just fish goes with white wine. Take all that crap and throw it out the window, because there's plenty of great red wine that's great with different fish. Think about the sauce. Think about the garnish. Think about what flavors you have. And when you're making the ultimate dish, whether it's for your wife or your husband at home, just you two or your family, or you're preparing meals for family and friends, like a bigger meal that you really want to curate and choreograph. Is that the right way to say it?
I mean, I guess if you want to dance while you sit
Yeah,
there.
if you want to dance.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you guys buy some smoke the ball, I'll dance for you. Yeah.
I think we should switch to the next wine.
Okay.
We've been on this wine a really long
Cool.
time. And I'm excited to try this grower
Blanc de Bois,
project
by the
rosé
way,
with y'all.
means white of the woods.
We have more glasses if you wanted to.
It is a No Dump Thursday. LFG, let's go.
Message received.
All right, this next wine is one of my favorites. And it's
I'm excited for
I'm
this
really
one.
excited.
Tony and
about
I did not make this, by the way. This is
this. So who made it?
this is from our good friends Brad and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, let's be real. I think Jordy probably did most of the work on this. Jordy, the assistant winemaker over at La Stra. So this is a project
Yum.
that Jordan and Andrew and Brad, the team at La Stra, the winemaking team at La Stra, produce. The whole impetus of this project too was also started with Ray Wilson. If you guys have never tasted Ray Wilson's wines, she does a great job. Pro tip. She still has her tasting room in Dripping Springs.
She
correct?
does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's called Wine for the People.
Mhm.
She does a great job, and she actually helped Andrew and Brad start Grow
Start the
Project.
line.
This is all about growers that don't necessarily have tasting rooms, and it features different vineyards. This project is very low production wine, and there's not a whole lot of it to go around. In fact, I don't think we actually even offer this on the website right now, because it's all sold out, but everybody could get a little taste of it. This comes 100% from Leckman Vineyards. Leckman Vineyards is just an amazing spot. It's in Seminole, Texas, which unfortunately is an incredibly picturesque country.
It's not?
No, there's
Okay.
it's just, well, this vineyard is pretty cool. It's got a lot of aspect. There's this big valley, but it's pretty flat. It's like an hour and a half north of like Midland, northwest of Midland.
Okay.
So if you can imagine, it's got about maybe 5-6 inches of sandy loam, Merlot fine sandy loam, and then right underneath it is all limestone. So we call it caliche. Caliche. So this is Pinot Meunier.
Welcome, Sarah. She's late to the party. You're not late. I'm glad you're here. We're on the rosé.
Sarah, good to see
Join
you.
us.
This is Pinot Meunier and Sangiovese. Little quick fact about Pito. Pito is an amazing grower. I don't know if he seriously said that his name was Pedro, and some people call him Pedro, but most people call him Pito because he said his dad was drunk and wrote the name on his birth certificate wrong.
You forgot the R?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. So Pito, this guy's amazing. He's self-made, one of the best growers we have, and probably one of the biggest hearts. The guy started from nothing, came to this country with very little, and has been working really hard. He came to the United States with $100 in his pocket, and now has a couple of irrigation companies, has a beautiful family. His wife, Sonia, is working in this vineyard every single day of the growing season. And this is right at their house. So I always love going to Seminole. Not only is the vineyard beautiful when you get in it, they grow like apples there and a couple other things. But Sonia and Pito are amazing cooks and chefs, and you get to sit in Pito's barn and they cook you a feast of tortillas. They always are trying to shove wine and tequila down our throats, and like it's tough because if we're harvesting, we obviously can't.
Hold on, go back. Apples?
Yeah,
apples.
Yeah, they have like 20 apple trees there. He's crazy, and we just planted some more Cabernet over there as well in Merlot. So
that is awesome.
So we've had a few questions on here, and they keep disappearing. But so one question was, don't you need a moist climate for rosé?
Absolutely not.
I didn't think so, but I don't know where that idea came
moisture
from.
is not important for wine growing. In fact, you can grow wine grapes in some of the driest climates in the world.
But you would need to irrigate a little bit, potentially, right?
Yes. Well, we just came from Santorini, and it's amazing. It hardly ever rains there. They actually can accept the moisture from the sea.
And they don't irrigate. Most of the farms don't, but you should see the vines. Like, we have ours up on trellises, but eye level almost. But theirs are like this high off the ground. They don't let it grow up because they kept saying that it takes the moisture from the soil.
Well, from the sea.
But they kept saying soil. Like it's in from the sea into the soil and then it gets up. That's what they kept saying.
It's the moisture, the humidity, it's able to soak it up off the leaves and off the rocks.
Yeah. I swear they said from the soil.
It is hot as hell there right now. Pinot Meunier is actually a sparkling wine grape, and we actually do a little sparkling Pinot Meunier as well at La Straw. But no, the short answer or the long answer to your question, we don't need a lot of moisture to produce a wine crop. I will say we're having a super good quality vintage, but very tough quantity. Guys, we are losing a lot of money farming this year because our vineyards are down about 40% on our yields. The quality is excellent, but we didn't have any natural moisture during the spring or the early summer, which really helps develop berry size. So our berries are very, very small, which is good for you because you're going to enjoy this very dense, rich vintage. That's going to be incredibly ageable. 2022 vintage is probably going to go down in history. It's going to be a very ageable, very high alcohol, very ripe vintage. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to charge a little bit more for it because, as you can tell, if you have half of a crop or 60% of your original crop, what you anticipated, it just makes it challenging on the economics. But we are going to make it. We made it through COVID. We will make it through this. So,
doing it.
And unfortunately, we haven't been able to sell as much fruit from some of our farms. We had some of our neighboring wineries, which are really great folks. They wanted a lot of fruit, and we were trying to give them as much as we could to help them out. But we're gonna make it work. So, but again, Pinot Meunier, Sangiovese. This is all stainless fermentation. And it's all Saint-Yi. So everybody, I hope, knows what Saint-Yi means.
Well, do you want to explain it, or I have another question if you don't?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, somebody asked, and I'm afraid it's disappeared from my screen. They asked how you would compare this to a Provence rosé.
Well, A is way better, first of all.
Do they Saint-Yi in Provence?
No, so they'll do typically whole cluster press, which I will say, what we're doing when we say Saint-Yi is very, there's nowhere else, and I've been to almost every single wine region, major wine growing region in the world, I would say 80%, and I've never seen anybody do this. So what we'll do when we Saint-Yi, it's not like we get the fruit back home and we put the grapes in the tank and then we'll just strain out some juice. Saint-Yi means to bleed. Right, to bleed off the excess juice, because when you transport grapes, you'll have a little bit of breakage. What we'll do is harvest the grapes with the harvester, and in there'll be a little bit of juice. And what we do is we strain at 2 o'clock in the morning will be out there straining that juice 5 minutes after it gets picked. So there's very, very little skin contact, which is why we're able to get this killer color.
Well, and Provence wines are often light colored,
Yeah,
which is probably why
absolutely.
the question was asked.
And Provence wines are usually Mourvedre and Grenache,
yeah.
and Cinsault.
Grapes we love.
Yeah, this is Sangiovese and Pinot Meunier, so definitely different on the
grapes,
on that
but-
side. They're definitely, I would say, a lot of Provence rosés have a touch more austerity as well. Is austerity a word?
What do you mean by that?
They're more acidic.
This is pretty
a little-
acidic though, I think.
I think there's a lot of fruit in this. Like I get a little bit of strawberry.
You wouldn't say it's
There's a lot
acidic?
of, yeah.
I
I think-
it's a little acidic.
No, I get nice acidity, but I
Well,
wouldn't.
yeah. It's not like the
It's not
Blanc
an
de
overly
Bois.
acidic.
Well,
not-
Yeah.
Austere I think I would describe it more as like more stone fruit and a little bit of like zinginess. And this,
You have a lot of that minerality
Here's
too.
our
Yeah.
level 47
Help us.
WSET Somm. How would you describe austere? Because I would say like stoniness, like
Austere doesn't have to do with a particular flavor, it's more about the balance.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
in austere wines, the bitter or the acid or less of the fruit character is what's shining in the wine. And then less austere wine, your fruit is the star. The acidity is more melded in. You have a more balanced wine.
and I would say for the most part, this wine is very well balanced, but the fruit is showing off,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And there's less, a lot of Provence wines, I'll see like a lot of lees contact, or you can sense it, this kind of dense texture, and I don't get a huge amount of texture on this wine for sure, which makes it incredibly food friendly. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, my mom and dad are watching. Hi, Bruce and
Hi,
Sue.
Bruce
I
and
hope you're-
Sue. Why did you call them Bruce and Sue and not Mom and Dad?
Yeah,
Hey,
come
Mom.
on. Where's the meatloaf?
They probably just got on because they had trouble getting on Facebook.
Well, we want to go to the next
Or
one?
they were late. That's what it is.
No. I bet they've
Just
been here
kidding.
the whole time. They just finally said hi.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, let's go to the next
Let's go
one.
to the next one. But I want a fresh glass because I don't want to slam this,
Lucky you.
but I'm not going to dump it. I'll drink it later.
No dump. No
We're
dump.
going to Grenache next.
Y'all are so
So-
excited about this. Actually, Chris was just on a Zoom panel before this, and somebody right in the beginning had been watching what is it called? The Rhone Rangers. that you
Oh,
were
yeah,
on?
cool. So
I can't remember your name, but somebody out here was just
heck
watching
yeah.
you there.
That's so cool. I actually put it on the little chat because I had to leave a couple of minutes early to come to this.
Yeah.
And so I
They
said,
followed
hey,
you.
if you're on Facebook, check us out. So who was it?
It was like 30 minutes ago. I don't
Comment
remember
if
who
you're
it
on
was.
there again. So we just tasted this wine in the Rhone Rangers. So the Rhone Rangers is a really cool organization. It's nationwide. It focuses on Rhone varieties. I think we had somebody from Southern Oregon, and we had somebody from Sonoma, and somebody from Paso Robles, and us, since we are very new members of the Rhone Rangers, which is pretty
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
So this guys is
This-
a Rhone wine.
the
It's
nose.
Grenache and Mourvedre. This comes from Benny Friesens. Benny is a Mennonite, and so it's kind of interesting that we're having two wines from about 15 minutes from each other. Benny is about 15 minutes from Pito, so all Seminole County or Gaines County from Seminole, Texas. And I think one of the questions that came up on that panel, where it was or actually I think it was a different article that I was referring to or answering this morning, but it was about the diversity of terroir. So I think it's really, really interesting to look at.
I think that's who it is.
John.
John.
Hey, John, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. But what's really interesting in Texas is we have so many different climatic challenges that you'll see different stars in the vineyard every year. So if you're growing Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, all in the same vintage or vineyard, you'll see like some years the Grenache is a star and the Mourvedre is a star. Some years the Grenache will be a little bit lesser, but then you can see the Syrah and the Mourvedre be the star. So it's and also when we're growing in a bunch of different regions, like everybody has their own handy dandy Texas map. So if you're growing out here in Del Valle, which is right north of El Paso, or you're growing in Gaines County, which is right here, or Brownfield, or the Hill Country, you get a lot of different chances to hit different weather patterns. And in Texas, it's really important because we're affected by a continental climate, which means there's a lot of bad shit that can happen. And so what I didn't mention on that panel earlier is this vineyard actually got hailed on about 5 times.
In this vintage?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It's all had hail netting, thank God. Otherwise, we would have a crop. But
Wow,
yes.
It's delicious.
And actually,
Oh my
this
gosh.
wine right here got hailed on about 7 hours before we started picking.
In 2021. I remember that.
Yeah, we got the harvester stuck in the vineyard. It was really
It was a
tough.
thing.
It was a mess.
Yeah, we had to have 2 tractors chained together to get the harvester out of the vineyard because it had rained.
I always hope that you're tasting along with us because the wines are, this is all better if you know if you can drink what we're drinking, but this wine,
You know what that is? That's called a tater or a home run.
A tater?
Yeah.
Why is it called a tater?
I don't know. Kim McPherson from McPherson Cellars, he told me that because he said that his name was Tater, which means home run.
Well, I want to try it with the risotto. Have you guys tried it with it yet?
I did.
I will dig right in. I feel so sorry for you guys.
I know. Everyone needs a skip at their
But
side.
I'll tell you what's going to even be more amazing. Hold on.
Oh, Chef Colin is in there knocking it out.
Yes, he is.
Okay, while Skip's doing whatever he's doing, somebody asked, they saw the old vines behind us and the roots that come down from them, and they asked, how
Yeah, it's
far
not
can the
surprising.
roots go?
The roots
Does it
can go-
depend on the
roots
vineyard?
can go
Great.
50, 70 feet.
What?
It definitely
70 feet?
Oh, 100%. It just depends on
Yeah, it's a little warm.
what kind of soil, and what kind of root
Thank you,
stock.
sir.
So there's some root stocks like Freedom is very
All
shallow.
right. While we've been out here drinking,
Oh, Chef Colin.
Chef Colin's been knocking it out of the park. Talk about
Did he make
home
the Nil
runs.
guy that we brought?
He did make the Neil guy that you brought.
Oh, cool.
So this is the ham steaks
Yum.
from that Neil guy.
Oh, very cool. So this Neil guy was,
Wow.
we harvested this on the Armstrong Ranch. A good friend of mine, Sally
Sorry.
and Matthew Bentley.
No.
Snoozing.
This ranch is so incredibly gorgeous. This is right next to the King Ranch.
It's gonna be so
in South
good.
Texas.
All right,
harvested-
all right, there.
It was so. I'm gonna
He'll
have to
take everything you
take
give
a
him
big
here.
bite. But cool. Nilgai is actually an antelope. It looks like a cow, but it's a big antelope. And we harvested this. They're actually kind of a nuisance.
They're from India, right? That's where they came from? Yeah.
They choke out the whitetail. They were introduced. Early 19th century, and they have overrun a lot of things. So it's a good thing that we're harvesting and clearing them out, making more room for the native whitetail.
Oh my God,
So
good.
what I thought was crazy about the Neil guy is I hear that they're really, really tough. So a lot of people are like, well,
It's
you know,
tough
I'm
to
not
get
going to
them.
do it. But
It's
then
tough to hunt 'em?
Tough to hunt
Yeah,
'em.
it's tough to hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Tough
it
to
is
hunt
very
'em.
I
tough to
harvested
hunt.
this at a dead sprint about 220 yards, and it was super challenging.
There were how many of them running
We
together?
hunted for 3
5?
days, and we saw one group.
Yeah,
And,
there were 5 of them running, and like 4 guys were shooting at them.
Wow.
You got the only
That's
one.
challenging.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my gosh!
Hold on, I'm
It's
sleeping. I'm
delicious.
sleeping
I hope
over here.
Colin-
I need a
hope
little
Colin
bit
got
more of
some
this
for himself.
Grenache
It's delicious.
Yeah, I
to
think
taste
we-
with this Neil
I
guy.
think we need to do a giveaway. By the way, we're gonna
Should we go ahead and do one now?
Let's do a vineyard table giveaway.
Oh. Okay, vineyard. We actually haven't talked about. Wait, do you want to do the vine?
Vine a bottle or
Vine the bottle or the
or
Vine the bottle.
harvest?
Vine a bottle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Do
we
it
haven't
for us to
actually.
give away.
We haven't actually talked about what that experience is. It's a brand new experience we're offering here in the tasting room. And it's the best because every single day it's a little different. You go in the vineyard and every day the vineyard's different depending on what season it is, what's happening in harvest right now. Start there, you have a wine there, you go to the production area, you see what they're doing, which again is different every day. Have some wine there. So pretty much you move all over the property and all stages that the wine goes through from the vineyard to the bottle.
Yeah, you're ducking around forklifts. You're getting to see.
Got to wear a hard hat.
That's the coolest part about it, I
This
think.
morning, got to see the distimmer crusher running and the forklifts. We had semis rolling in. So
I said a hard hat, but they don't actually have to wear a hard hat.
no, they probably should.
Safety shoes, steel toes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a real world tour that's not sugar-coated. And the tour does kind of change up from day to day. Our team has been really good about like looking at what stage the vineyard are at. They were actually tasting grapes today, talking about ripeness and talking about the seeds.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's a really cool opportunity, and I got to give it to Zen. He's really done a good job at developing that whole tour. And that's something that, excuse me, is where we're really working on is like, a big part of what we do here at William Chris is try to bring people into the vineyard to see how we grow grapes, how we make the wine, how we are different, like what we get to do in the vineyard and in the winery to make our wine special, which is, speaking of special.
Can I grab it?
This Grenache was fermented in all large oak fermenters.
You left them hanging for the giveaway, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
I was just explaining what you were going to give away, and then you forgot.
Graham, can you grab the bucket? He's been diligently
writing all of you down in Vineyard and commenting.
Hold on.
I guess I shouldn't take a bite because I'm going to be excited.
All right. How about for the winner of a vineyard to
It's a vine
to bottle
for four people.
Four people.
Table. Martha Caswell. So if you're watching, Martha,
Martha!
you better respond here quick, and if you don't, we're going to give it away. So
On to
the next.
So Martha Caswell, congratulations. You better respond. So
she'll be there in a minute. We're on a delay.
By this way.
This way.
This way or that way.
So this Grenache is absolutely delicious. It's fermented in a large oak fermenter and spent all of its life after it got pressed out in.
She's here. Martha,
Awesome.
cheers. Woohoo.
Welcome, Martha. Congratulations. Anniversary follower, too. I don't know what that's.
I don't know what that means either.
So this spent all its life after it got pressed out into neutral oak barrels. And the reason we use neutral oak, guys, at William Chris as a whole, we only use about 20 to 30% new wood. If you had to blanket that across all of our varieties, but I would say that the Bordeaux varieties get a little bit more new wood. But the Rhone varieties like Grenache, Mourvedre, Syrah, they tend to see a lot less new wood because it really shows terroir. And terroir is where the wine is grown. It's the soil, it's the aspect, it's the climate. And Rhone varieties show that incredibly well, which I think is one of the coolest things about wine is that we're able to think about, or I always say that wine is like baseball cards for adults that you can drink, which I think is really cool. So
I appreciate it more than baseball cards.
When I drink this, I think about like what happened in 2019. We all know what happened in 2019, and we remember those long days and long nights of uncertainty and all that good stuff. We also remember that it was.
You're talking about 20?
No, 2019.
What happened in 19? Long nights?
I don't know. Do you remember what was it called? COVID?
That was in 20.
That was in 20.
Well, I had that wrong. We were just preparing.
I'm trying to remember.
But
19 was like hard and fast though. 19 was one of those really short.
Chef was making wine in 19.
I was making wine in 19.
Vintage.
Yeah, it was. And it's all your fault too for taking me out there.
Yeah.
That's all your fault.
That's right. Yeah, you started going out to West Texas.
I did. Started going out to West Texas, started coming up here, hanging out with you degenerates and
cool story. So I've known
not
Jeff
you.
Probably 5-7 years now, and he was a big fan, and he used to work at Morton's in Houston, which is a really great steakhouse. If you ever get a chance to do that, he's
member first. I was a member first.
He was a wine club member, and then we just became buddies. And then he started buying wine for the restaurant, and we started doing wine dinners. And he was like, "Hey, if you ever get a chance, I want to go with you to the High Plains." And so I was like, "Come in, jump in the plane," and we went for like 4 nights, and we just like
It was a whirlwind. It was fun. I mean, I loved it. I loved actually getting out there and seeing all these guys that are growing the grapes, getting to actually walk through the vineyards and touch and taste and smell everything that's going on. Because, I mean, I tell you what, it really opened up my eyes to what's happening.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to move on to the next wine. We're taking a lot of time with this. I love it. I'll tell you what, this Neil guy,
on the website.
Food.
the Neil guy with this Grenache was absolutely amazing. Shows how you can change up all this stuff.
Here, I'll just pull one from under here. I got it.
Okay.
I'm not dumping. I just don't want to chug it. It's all too good.
Chug, chug, chug.
No, my college days are far behind. Okay.
Sure.
Alan Weineke says, I know Dove season is still a month away, but what WCB wines would pair well with bacon wrapped Dove breasts?
What?
Okay.
What wine with
I got you.
Dove
'Cause
wrapped in bacon?
I will tell you what wine we have with bacon wrapped. It's the Lost Draw Mourvèdre. So we have it. It's actually.
That's my
Interesting.
favorite Lost Draw Vineyard Mourvèdre. Like that's my favorite of our wines, almost every vintage.
So we have a
love
tradition, and I hope we get to do this year. It happens about every other year. In the middle of La Pradera, which is right down the street from Lost Draw, is this big swell, this big draw, and they have a well that leaks a little bit, and so it creates this like big puddle, and it is killer. I mean, a killer dove hunting. No pun intended. It's really good dove hunting. So what happens typically is like we'll be harvesting all night, and if we get done by like 7 or 8 o'clock, we'll go out there exhausted. Inevitably have some adult beverages.
It's a sunrise.
Yeah, watch the sunrise and hunt the doves. And I should have put a picture of that up. I'll get you a picture, and hopefully. And there's also like a trash pit out there with like some old fridges and some stuff just like laying in the middle of like not in the middle of the vineyard, but like kind of over the side. And we literally take this like hero picture of us with a whole stack of doves on top of an old fridge every year. We've been doing that for like 10 years.
I love that vineyard. I love like going through it, and like you said, those doves just hang out all right there.
Yeah.
And you just see them flying over it. But I've never been there during dove season. Never had a chance
Well,
to do that.
if you're in Brownfield, bring shells because Tate and I will be there. And Tate's a terrible shot. Actually, that's not true. Tate's a pretty good shot.
I hope he's not watching.
Last vintage,
listening
we
to
ran
you.
out of shells. And Andrew shows up and he's like, hey, I brought shells and beer. And all of us were like, yay. And then we all limited it out. So, all right, fast forward, guys.
Okay, what are we drinking?
This is Robert Clay Merlot.
No.
That stuff is yummy.
Pretty cool story about this vineyard. Sadly, we don't buy fruit from this vineyard anymore.
When was the last vintage that we did get fruit from Robert Clay? Was it 20?
Probably 20. Dan and Jeannie are very great people. They're doing a great job in Mason. So, it had to be about 10 years ago. Dan comes to us and says he's a tech guy, does like networking, I believe. He comes to us and says, "Hey guys, I really, I want to start getting into grapes." And Bill, he's working with Bill in the vineyard, and we had over the years, you farm enough, you have a ton of different guys that come and like say, "Hey, I really want to get in the grape business," and like you learn to not know their names because like they work in the vineyard like 3 days, and they're like, "Hey, man, it was real. Like I'm definitely not getting the wine business anymore." Like, I didn't realize how hard it was, and then like so I didn't really pay attention to his name, but then like the next week, I'm like, "Is that the guy still here?" And he's like, "Yeah, they said he wants to keep working." And Dan worked with us like the whole season, and awesome guy, never quit. And then he said, "Hey, I found this vineyard, Robert Clay Vineyards." Robert Clay actually, he passed away from cancer, and so he had planted this vineyard. I hope maybe Dan and Jeannie are watching, but I think they had this vineyard in 1996. They planted it, and then the vineyard kind of fell like literally in disrepair by the wayside. And then we went out. Dan was like, "Hey, there's this vineyard, this ghost vineyard. I want to like revive it." And we went out there and looked at it, and we were like, "Dude, you are smoking something. Do not do this. This is a terrible idea. You'd be way better buying land next door and building a new vineyard." And like,
So was it the trellises were still there, but all the plants
it was
were
overgrown.
dead?
No, they weren't even dead. A lot of them were like either dying or not doing great, and some of the blocks needed to be like totally ripped out. It was also like big hills because the sand had blown, and like it had like this big kind of almost like layered up effect next to the vines. Anyways, we said, don't do it. And so he goes to somebody else, Drew Talent, who's also a really good grower on the Llano Uplift in Mason, and was like, hey, should I do this? And Drew was like, do not do this. So, anyway,
That's two votes for no.
I think he had more than that too. And he's right down the road from Rob Parr too. So Parr,
Parr, and then
stuff.
Robert Clay.
But anyways, long story short, or long story long, he does a great job, and he and his wife Jeannie, he's really done a lot for Texas viticulture, and they have a cool little winery. You should definitely go see them. If you haven't been to Mason, go check it out. But those guys are sadly making most of their wine into their own production.
But if you're in Mason, you have to stop by
Santos. Oh, the restaurant there.
Santos. No, it's just the market. No, you got to stop by Robert Clay.
Oh, yeah.
See what he's doing out there. I mean, oh my God, it's amazing. No.
You want some water?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're about to get ready. We're about to do the drawing. Give us about 3 more minutes.
Hey, well.
Good.
Sorry, I was interrupting.
We
haven't talked about the food with this wine, or really the last one. That, you know, obviously was delicious with the first two.
The Neil guy and the risotto with the Grenache were incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is your favorite?
But I still love it with this. It's so is it the food that's versatile? Is it the
Risotto
wine?
is super versatile.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can do seafood, you can do meat. I mean, whatever you want. The risotto is just your base. It carries all the flavor in the world. So, I've made red risotto before.
With the red wine?
With the red wine. Yeah,
I was
just
going to
something.
ask about that. Like we chose the Blanc de Bois, but how
Typically,
do you choose?
typically it's a red or white wine that you're going to use with your risotto. What I'm looking for when I complete my risotto is I want just one even color throughout. I want it to be perfectly white,
Right.
unless I'm doing something a little off the wall.
Right.
But if you do a red wine, it's not going to be perfect.
If you're going to do a red wine, it's going to give this, a little pinkish, a little tinge to it, but it can be a lot of fun. Saffron. Saffron's also another great thing to throw in.
That, by the way, that basil that you threw on top, like it was cool because I didn't like mix it up a lot, and then I was able to taste like the basil really sung. I thought with the Merlot, the Grenache kind of got it thrown off a little bit, but the rosé, the Blanc de Bois, and the Merlot were pretty spot on.
I got more basil here.
Oh.
Let's see.
Yeah. Beam me up, Scotty.
There we go.
It adds a
There we
freshness
go.
that I'm not used to with risotto.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, when you're using your fresh herbs, though, you never want to put them in at the very beginning. It's always a finishing thing. So if I'm going to grab some fresh stuff, I'm going to wait till the last possible minute.
Sure.
Because I want it to incorporate throughout everything, but I want to be able to taste that freshness.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not going to add it in at the end, you might as well just throw in dried herbs. But
Was it you who recently taught me that you shouldn't add garlic until the end because it'll just cook all the flavor out? Was that you? So I just recently learned that. I wonder if it was
normally
you.
in risotto, you're not going to put any garlic.
Well,
It's
yeah, but
only going to
in
be your
general.
shallots. But in general, if you're going to use garlic, it's one of the last things you add when you're sauteing, because otherwise it's going to burn.
Blew my mind.
You know, and it used to be that, you throw in your onions, your garlic, this, that, all at the same time. No,
It just cooks out.
just
I've been
cooks.
doing
It
my
cooks
whole
out, or it burns, and then you get a real bitterness to your garlic rather than that sweet flavor that we're really looking for.
Gotcha.
So,
Man, well, I got to tell you guys, something that my wife and I love doing, and I know that you and your bride have talked to us about this, but like we love cooking and trying new things and then opening up different bottles. Like if you come to my house right now, we'll have 2-3 bottles open almost all the time. And then we'll come back to a wine tomorrow, and we'll try multiple different wines, multiple different days, which I think is so fun and so exciting. And then we'll talk about, like, sometimes we'll go, hey, this wine doesn't pair as well with this dish that we anticipated. That's okay. We'll just throw a cork in it and open something else. And then you can come back to it the next day. And all these wines will stay good for 2 and 3 days, guys. Now, if you have one little glass left and then you leave it.
Just drink
no
it.
dump Thursday.
Just drink it.
No dump Thursday.
Bad idea. But all these wines will stay good. I would highly recommend throwing a cork back in it and put the cork in pretty good and then throw it in the fridge. Even a red wine, you can throw it in the fridge and then pull back out and let it temp up and then pour it. Don't worry about that. So Guys, I want to say thank you. We have had an amazing day. We got a few more things to get to before we sign off here. But
Mostly a giveaway.
Number one thing, sold out Harvest Dinner.
That's already,
yes.
Sold
that's
out.
coming.
No,
That's coming.
sold out Harvest
Do we
Dinner.
have any more events coming up,
August
Chef?
12th.
We do. We still have
Well,
a few.
yeah, past that. So actually, next weekend, or no, is it this weekend? Jeez. Yeah, this weekend. So we have our second Sunset in the Vineyard series. So we're going to be doing all of our sandwiches, salads, all the stuff from our farmhouse. You're going to be able to grab that, take it out to our pavilion, enjoy some great live music.
Oh, cool.
The week after that, so on the 6th, we'll have another Sunset in the Vineyard. We're going to be doing a nacho bar.
Nacho bar.
Nacho bar. Colin is going to hook it up. It's going
Oh, it
to
is
be
my
awesome.
I thought you said it.
Nacho.
Nacho bar. It's nacho bar. No, so we got another
That
Sunset.
wasn't planned. That
That
wasn't
jokes.
planned.
That jokes.
But then we have another Harvest Dinner. So we just
Okay.
today added a second Harvest Dinner. Not sure when those tickets are going live, but the last one sold out in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Well, whatever it was. I mean, it blew my
So
mind.
we're working on it. We're working on it. But what we're going to give away tonight is 2 tickets to the Harvest Dinner.
The first one
The
The
first
first
on
one.
August 12th.
Yep.
on August 12th. So before we do that, also guys, grape punch. If you guys want to actually stain your hands purple, get your hands dirty. Ladies, please wear a low-cut white dress so you can go punch some.
Harvest hands. Harvest hands.
Not everyone appreciates that.
I appreciate
I know you
it.
do.
As the guy that's taking the pictures, I
Oh
always,
my gosh.
I always tell
He
the
will
people,
not be taking
why do I have this big smile? Yeah, anyways, I'll explain all that at the
Okay.
grape punch. But
What
we
else do you
have
want to talk about?
August
What's next?
6th and August 27th. We still have a few tickets available before they all sell out. So, but I'm dead serious. We used to do a
That's
grape
the Sunset
stomp.
of the Vineyard, the 6th
Wait,
and the
Sunset's the
27th?
6th and the 27th.
Yeah, you're talking about the wrong thing now.
Thank you. Where's August 7th and August 27th and 28th? Grape punch.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the same days.
No, they're not. 7, 27, 28, and then 6, 27.
You're right. Okay.
Close.
You're right. I'm sorry.
one day
It's
off.
my
Just see
fault.
our events page on our website,
But
and
grape punch,
it'll
grape
clear
punch
it all
is
up
super
for
fun.
you.
Yeah, grape punch is
Or
super
maybe
fun.
Graham can put some links in. I don't know.
Graham, you're amazing. By the way, we have 2 folks here that are doing a great job.
Keeping us straight.
Jerry Sullivan, so good to see you. You were here
Jerry.
today. Before we do that, anything else, guys?
We got the giveaway, and we have another
We're gonna do 2
virtual.
giveaways,
We have
by the way.
another virtual tasting on the books.
Oh, we do.
hope you will join us.
Yeah. When is? Oh, that's what we do.
That's right.
Oh, that's yep.
Yeah.
When is it?
It's
When is
gonna
the next
be
one?
September 29th. God, that's a long time from now. I feel like we should get one in between, but September 29th,
We're
it's
gonna
going to
do.
be Chris and Andrew doing what we call the lineup because it's got something from all our lines.
We're gonna do Mary Ruth, everybody's homegirl favorite. We got the Source Sangiovese. This is also from Pito's Place, which is delicious. I highly recommend it. A little skeleton key. We're also gonna do. We're gonna do another deep dive into those vineyards. We're gonna talk about all the winemaking techniques and all the production techniques. And then we're going to talk about this little guy too. You can actually,
You
Sway.
get 2 cans of the Sway Rosé.
which believe it or not, is a whole entire bottle. And that has a killer deal on it too. How much is that?
The whole pack, this whole beautiful pack is only $95.
Yeah.
And if you add 2 more bottles, shipping is on us.
What?
I know.
I'm gonna have to pick one of
It's ridiculous.
That is.
Way too
ridiculous.
low.
Yeah, for sure. So
September 29th is
yeah,
going to be a
join
good
us for
time.
this fun pack. You can send it. It's a very reasonably priced pack, guys. So you can send it to your friends. You can get folks from across the country to join in. Let's bring our. We're working really hard to bring our virtual tastings back. So we appreciate everybody jumping on today and bearing with us. Also, guys, before we do this, we're going to do 2 giveaways.
No, we've already done one.
We're going to do 2.
Okay.
We've got one more Vine to Bottle
Oh,
tasting tour for 4
Chris,
people.
give
we
it
have
away.
another one.
Giving away everything.
I know you've already drawn one name. I want you to draw another for the tasting and tour vine to bottle for 4 people. So if you haven't, Steve Martin's going to add a Grenache and Merlot. Great call, Steve.
So
All right, drum roll,
delicious.
please. Who's got the vine?
No, the harvest dinner.
No,
he's
Are we gonna
doing
do? Oh, we're gonna do vine to bottle.
vine to bottle first.
Vine to bottle first, and then harvest. Ooh.
Yeah, and you've got to be present to win. Sarah, good to see you, by the way.
Sarah's making fun of you, babe.
That's the one.
Sarah,
Good luck.
I like your
Sarah
style.
Well, good to comment. You get a vine to bottle tasting and tour for 4 people. Congratulations.
Did you see what she said?
No, what did she say?
Said, your virtual tastings saved us during that 2019 pandemic.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
The great pandemic of 2019.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no
well
one deserved
played,
to
well
win
played.
it more. Good
All
job.
right. Lastly, can we get a drum roll, please? Poor Grant. I wish I could turn the camera around. Grant has got all these he's like been feverishly writing all these tags down, and he's got this big bowl, and he's like reached in there.
Yes.
Shake it up.
Oh, Alta Frazier. Oh, wow. Surprise. Congratulations.
Yes, we'll be having dinner with you on
Yeah.
August 12th.
Yeah, congrats. That's
Awesome.
awesome. So,
Yay.
guys, I so appreciate it. I want everybody to get online, snag this pack. We have 133 families that depend on you. Guys, I super appreciate everybody being here. It means the world to us. We're in we're 100 tons in, or 80 tons into almost 1,000-ton harvest. We so appreciate you very much. We couldn't make the wines we make and do the things we do with our community, with our state, without you guys. You mean the absolute world to us. From the very bottom of my heart, and from my family, and from Skip's family, and from all our families, we appreciate you so very much. Please go out there, support Texas wineries. I forgot to pour this. Buddy's wine.
No. I want to taste that.
Here's a little Adega
I want to
Vino
taste
wine.
I want to taste Michael's wine.
Yeah, Adega Vino. So we support our buddies too. There's so many great wineries in the High Stonewall area. Plan your next trip. I know it was hot out here, but it's starting to cool off already.
Hey, I mean, it was only like 97, 98 today.
But plan your trip. We're going to have a killer fall. I will say we're looking forward to the fall, to where we have all of our fans back out. Plan your trip today. Come to High Stonewall. There's so many cool wineries. We've got Calais down the road, French Connection, Adega Vino, William Chris. We're going to have Lost Straw.
Abastris.
Lost Straw will be open right down the road in Johnson City by October. So get ready, guys.
I shouldn't cross my fingers. It's happening.
Yeah, we have our new location opening up in a small way, which all of you guys have access to. Also, stay tuned, guys, because we've got the Uplift brand. Claire Richardson, our winemaker over there, has been making these wines for going on 3 years, and we're going to have some cool stuff getting ready to release over there, which is pretty exciting. And there's going to be a whole new experience over there. So come to High and Stonewall.
Yes.
And come experience the Abastris folks are doing a great job. But this particular wine is Mourvèdre from the Texas High Plains. Actually, I think this is all from Crook's House block.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit of wine a little bit of grapes that we sold them. The Bilger brothers, they did a great job.
I didn't know
with this.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But guys, we appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
We love you very much. Cheers. Be your best self. Thank you so much for jumping on with us
Thank
tonight.
you, Skip, for cooking for us.
Hey, no, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for sure.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.